Happy Sabbath, everybody. It is Sabbath Saturday, and I am here. I'll be real relaxed on this afternoon and just right point. I'm putting on some gloves that the doctors use whenever they're getting ready to perform a procedure or maybe even go into surgery. And today, seriously, a procedure is getting ready to be performed. You will probably be able to tell me the name of the patient's date of birth, gender, also height, weight. It's going to be all up to you because I'm going to give you the prognosis and the diagnosis, and you will know who it is I'm speaking of. This that I'm speaking of today, it comes from a conversation that I had earlier, maybe about a week and a half ago, if that. But I was in conversation with someone, and a question was asked. I asked this question, and I wanted to know, what the response was given to her whenever she asked the question. And she basically told me, she said, we can't talk about that. He's not there yet. Like, he's not there yet. Hold up. Wait a minute. By whose determination will you say that a person is not to a place where whenever you begin to speak to them, that they don't give you an answer? Well, when she said that, I was like, you know what? You have to stop giving people who you love passes. Yeah, passes. Stop giving them passes. I wrote in my notes to remain in position and hold the office of unhealthy situations and lifestyle by not answering questions or dealing with the things that's in their life that's affecting not only you, the person that you're talking to, but it's also affecting you, the one that's asking the questions. The moment you bring something up that they don't want to deal with, their response to the question or lack of causes you to freeze. And you make the determination to say, he or she, they're not there yet. What do you mean they're not there yet? One or two things are happening at that particular time. Number one, either what you've asked the person, they don't want to talk to you about it. And if they don't want to talk to you about it, it means basically that that they have already made the decision, that they're comfortable in the place and the position in which they've placed you in their life. And they have the understanding that, whenever he or she brings this up, in order that I don't move, this is all I have to do. This is all I have to say. And whenever I do this or whenever I say this, then the response is going to be, silent, because they're going to move on. They're not there yet. Or the second reason why they don't want to deal with what it is that you're asking them is because they don't want to face themselves. They're not willing to face themselves concerning what it is you're asking. Why? Because it's going to reveal that they had a hand in what they're trying to keep away from you that they don't want to deal with. Now, you all know when it comes to us, you already know that if we are clear, if we're in the wrong, if we're in the right, we don't mind exposing somebody else and playing the blame game and putting it on somebody else. I believe this much. If you are in a situation, a circumstance, if you're holding on to past hurts, if you're holding on to past feelings, if you're holding on to anything from your past, and you've been holding on to those things maybe 2 years and upward, nah, you're not holding on to it. You've made this a way of life now. You're living this, and you have safeguarded yourself in that place because you're using those past situations as an advantage to how you now live. And so whenever anybody starts to come into that particular place, you know what to say, what not to say, how to move to keep them out of that place, to keep you from moving. Anything that you holding on to, you're holding on to it. It just says that you don't want to be free. You don't want to be free. You don't want to leave that place. So not dealing with what's at hand, not dealing with the question that's asked, not dealing, think that you've safeguarded yourself against that person has asked you, and you come to a place that you're so comfortable in. How is it that you all can talk about everything else except that one thing? You have no problem. You can talk about everything else except that one thing. And then whenever they don't want to talk about it, the excuse that you make for the person that don't want to open up and release is he or she, they're not there yet. Well, how long are you willing to stay in a place where they're not? And are you comfortable with being where they are? If your answer is no on today, you have to stop giving them a pass. You said, what is a pass? This pass is only whenever you allow them to manipulate you away from what needs to be addressed. Let's face it on today. Let's face the facts. You're either going to be healthy and happy or you're going to be sick and miserable. Stop settling for their shortness of speech. Stop settling for their silence, because in this place, silence is not golden. In this place, they need to speak because their silence is not healthy. It's not healthy for them, and it's not healthy for you. And it keeps them bound to the situation. And sometimes they're bound by choice. They want to be in that place. It's comfortable for them in that place, but yet it's so miserable for you, because guess what? You can't move on. You can't even have a decent conversation. You don't even know where your life is going at with that person, all because of what that person is holding on to that they refuse to release. Talk about the cats, talk about the dogs, talk about life, living, da, 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 da. But let's talk about what you can't talk about. Who, again, I asked the question, that makes the determination to say, he's not there yet. One thing about speaking is that speaking brings forth the spirit. And you have in you what's needed to release that you're holding on to. But it has to be spoken. I know in the word of God with Moses and the children of Israel, I heard the word say, they say that we've compassed this mountain long enough. All he was saying was, we've been going round and around and around. We were walking in the same direction. We were seeing the same thing. We was hearing the same thing. We had the same feeling, the same mindset concerning what it was we were doing. And anytime you allow someone, you give them a pass, or you speak for them and say, he or she, they're not there yet. You're allowing them to keep going around, and they're taking you with them, taking you around and around and around, and you don't get nowhere. You don't make progress. You don't make progress. And everything you see is familiar. Everything you hear is familiar. Everything that's being said is the same thing that's been said over and over and over again. Stop being the one to determine where a person is at. Stop saying, and stop allowing them to stay in a safe place. Press into them and make them press into themselves so that they can get there. They need to get there. Now, it was you who determined that they weren't there. So evidently it's you that's going to know when they get there. My question to you on today is, when will they get there? When, by your determination, when will they get there? You have to allow people, and you have to hold them that you love accountable. You have to be responsible and they have to be accountable. Stop being so quick to believe that a person is not there yet. That's by what they want you to know. That's by what they want you to believe and see. But I'm telling you on today, real love, real concern will cause you to make real moves. And it'll also cause you to release so that all involved will get there. It's nothing worse today than for you to live with someone knowing that there is something in that someone, and your love for them gives them every opportunity and every chance that's given to them to escape reality. Until you can understand that there is some place that they have to get to, and the only way that they're going to get there is by releasing what's in them, stop giving them passes from your love. If you really do love them, you will take them to the place where you know that they need to be. I say this in closing on today. Don't let your love for someone dictate them staying in a place where they don't need to be. It's not good for them. It's not good for you. And whenever you're the person that has given them the pass, then everything begin to build up in you against them. Against them. And it's not until you can love them enough to press into them that they will be able to release, that they'll be able to get. And getting to where they need to be, let me tell you what they understand, is one reason why I believe that they hold on and they just don't speak in that place, and they understand that you understand what they're doing, because they know that once they release that stuff, then it means that they have to move. Things gonna have to change. You can't use the same thing. You can't keep me in the same place. I started to go someplace else. You can't do to me what you've always done and expect me to believe it. We can't continue to go around like this. It's detrimental to you, and you're making it detrimental for me. But if we really do love one another like we say we do, then we will press into them and we will cause them to press forward. We will cause them, and because in the pressing, it puts pressure, and the pressure will cause their mouths to open. And when their mouth open, the release from the words, it comes forth. Try it. Try it sometime. Just give it a try. Try it. Even kids in a car going on a trip with their families, little kids, that's because you have already told them this. Look, Johnny, Sue, we're going to Disney World. Yay! Riding down the road, 3 or 4 hours down the road. Mom, Dad, are we there yet? Are we there yet? No, we're not there yet, but we're making time. We should be there in X number of time, X amount of time. By this time, we should be there. They go ahead and they take a nap. They wake up again. Hey, are we there yet? We can't be like that. We know. At least these kids know, and they believe that they're going to get to Disney World. They trust the words of their parents. They're in motion. They're moving. See, that's the difference. They're in motion. They're moving. But whenever we just sit and we just give each other words without movement, that's when you can say, he's not there yet. And you don't see him or her getting there because you don't hear anything that shows that they're willing to move. As I said in closing, real love, real concern will cause you to make real moves. And when you make real moves, you will release so that all involved will get there. Blessings to you on today.